Okay, going live with Praise Santos, photographer. Hey Desiree, thanks for your points. I wonder if you can hear me right now. Photographer to many. Okay, let's try pinning this and then we'll see. Let me pin the comment first. We'll do everything in a nice order. Comments pinned. We have praise. Desiree hears me, and now I have her request. Let's hope this works. I do think they're now. Oh my God, can you not hear me? I can't. This is unbelievable. It's like making me feel. Desiree, this is making me feel like it's never going to come back. Like sound is going to be out of my existence. So you guys, if you can hear me, Praise and I are having the worst time with volume. We can't hear her. And we don't know why. I just experimenting with having only one side. Okay, Praise just left. Oh boy, you guys, this is going amazingly. So we can't hear Praise. Okay, she came back in. I think she's trying something else. I think she's trying something else. Yes. Yes, I can hear you.
Right now?
Yes. Amazing.
I'm so sorry.
No, this just feels like such a win. Don't you feel so good that we got audio right now?
We're here. We're here and we're staying Instagram. I don't care. You can't kick us out now.
Oh, I'm sure it's my fault. I'm like so glad we figured this out. And Desiree, is Desiree your friend?
Yeah, she actually is my friend. She's such a roll dog. If anyone needs a bestie, Desiree is your girl.
Wait, what did you call her? A roll duck?
A roll dog. Like someone who rolls with you.
With it.
Thick and thin. That's
oh
her.
God. Okay, so roll dog brings me into like who you are, because I just see you. Like, do you ride skateboards? Like, where are you getting your like fly ass vibe? Like, did you grow up in like downtown LA, and like what is going on with you? Where did you start in your life?
We're just going to take your comment and keep it in my back pocket for any time I need to be built up that I don't feel cool.
You're so cool. You're amazing.
That is so funny that you get those vibes. I used to ride a penny board to work, but such a nerdy way. Like I would wear a helmet, and if you saw my face, I was always so scared. I am not that cool. I also wanted to be that girl, but I just am not. I did not grow up in LA. I am from Orlando, Florida, home of Disney World.
Nice. Yeah. Wait, so would that mean, so does growing up in Orlando, Florida mean you have like friends who work at like the Disney park?
It's a rite of passage. I worked at Disney too. I was a cast member, as they say, and I actually had a lot of fun. I really still get so much joy from being around children, hugging children. Like it's a really magical place, truly.
Oh my God. Okay, so we're getting to the heart of it. Like I knew that something is magical about you, and I think it's that you were a Disney employee.
That's a big part of it, and I feel like it's still a lot of it is in my blood. Just that customer service and sense of hospitality, how they run their business, and how they make every client, every person who walks through their parks feel like the most important person. I want all businesses to run like that.
Yeah, amazing. So how did you learn that? Like, did you get to your Disney job and already know that? Or did you feel like you trained in that while there?
I feel like it's a mix of things too, right? I will give a shout out to my parents who have always prized people and community and have always treated people well. They're in the service industries too. My mom is a nurse. My dad just has been working with people and has been always like a community helper too. And so I feel as if that high value of people was always ingrained in me too. And I strive to do that whether um, it's a paid way of using my time, like if it's through my business or even how I spend my free time. I want people to be of high value in my life always.
Yes. I felt that when I was on a photo shoot with you. You made it so pleasant and you made everybody feel good. So, did you work under photographers where you felt like a contrast of somebody who wasn't doing that with that kind of work and then another one who was?
Yeah, I shadowed quite a few wedding photographers when I was first starting out. And even just seeing how clients can be warmer when the person is warmer.
Yeah.
Um, Photography really is a skill set, right? Like you need to train your eye and you need to know where all the buttons are. But if you're doing portraits, one of the big things that I want anyone who works for my business or on my team is to have really good people skills because we've all seen that really stiff LinkedIn headshot. And the photo is like well lit, like there's a great background, like all the tools of the photography are right. It's that person and that other person didn't connect. They didn't have good chemistry.
Yeah.
They didn't feel warm and open and like themselves. And to me, that isn't a good photo. And so that is one of my key things is to help people feel like themselves, feel comfortable in front of the camera. And that's just being a good human, like letting
Yeah.
people feel safe enough to be themselves around you.
To be themselves around you. So, like, can you sense when someone's not being themselves?
Yeah, and I feel like we innately can see it too through body language, right? When people are a little more closed off, shy, like they're really contained, their limbs are like really close together, or their chin's a little bit down. But when you're around the people that you love, which by the way, the video of you teaching your partner your skincare routine,
Yeah.
Marguerite, that is the content the world needs. So
Oh, yeah, because we're like comfortable. What did you pick up as a photographer from that video?
it's just that you could be yourselves around each other too. And I feel like your partner like was bold and confident enough to do something that was like a little more feminine, right? To be
Yeah.
in his be able to do skincare, you have to have such a high level of confidence and comfort and safety with the person that you're doing that with to
Yeah.
be able to do that. And so similarly, I my goal is within like a minute to 2 minutes, I have to let that person feel like they're my Desiree, that they're my role dot, that they're my people, even though we've just met, so that you can be yourself, so that you can feel open and comfortable because I want them to be able to look at that picture and be like, oh, that was really the essence of me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who do you admire? Like, I feel like your personality is very striking. And to me, I have worked with so many different people. And to me, it's like you have a certain quality about you or a set of qualities that I've seen in other women. I don't know if it's like Chrissy Teigen or like who personality wise do you look up to of the women who are like ahead of you in their lives who have built creative businesses?
Mm. Yeah, there is quite a number of people I look up to. I will just say recently, well, first of all, Chrissy Teigen is an LOL. Just she is a good time. I do
Yeah.
want to be that lighthearted, but with what I want to do in the world, I'm such a dreamer. Girl, have you watched Becoming yet on Netflix? The
No.
Michelle's book tour documentary?
Oh no, I need to do that tonight. I'm in the middle of Portrait of a Woman on Fire, which is have you seen that?
I haven't. Do
Okay,
you
that's
recommend?
gorgeous. You'll love it. And I'll watch Becoming on Netflix.
Okay.
So tell
Okay.
me what you're picking up from Michelle Obama from that show.
What I'm picking up is that she knew that sometimes there are things you have to do. Like there are things you have to do as a first lady. This is true. And we have a lot of obligations in our life. But now that that time in her life is over, when she really asks herself what she wants to do, and she really wants to mentor young people, she wants to really mentor those who are in high school or starting off as young professionals, and she is living out her calling. First lady or not, I feel like she would have done that anyways. And I guess that's who I want to be, someone who is so sure of how she is wired. And so, whether that's like my sense of humor or the way I see things in the world, I know those are gifts with how I've been created and how I've been wired. And I really want to live that out fully. I feel as if we have this one wild life. And in this pandemic, we were reminded just how short and how precious it is. And so the vibes I'm getting is I want to be a kind of woman who fulfills that entirely and thoroughly. So women like Michelle Obama do that well. If we're
Yeah.
continuing about politics, AOC does that well.
Yeah.
But when it comes to people who do it really lightheartedly, definitely like Chrissy Teigen is
Yeah.
on that list. I also really like Ali Wong. Um,
Yes. I saw her live and I was just like in love by the end. I loved her.
where here in San
I saw
Francisco.
her in San Francisco at the Masonic, which was like a terrible experience. Like we were like, it was like the tickets were like $300, but we were like herded like cows for like hours standing before we got in. It was like not a good experience, but they actually could really use you, making it a much better experience. But she was incredible. What do you love about her?
I like that she's kind of unruly.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yes.
for being ladylike, but I'm also all for being real
Yeah.
and for being just like a human about how messy life can be and how messy being a woman can be.
Yeah.
My I do love that honesty about her.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that I was looking at your website a couple hours ago and it was like, you focus on photographing go-getter women. So who would you say was the first go-getter woman in your life?
Whew, the first go-getter woman in my life. I've been very fortunate that the women in my family are like the matriarchs. They're the really the ones who sacrifice for their family and make stuff happen. Um, my mom was one of her first siblings to immigrate to the United States. She was recruited to move to the Bronx to be a nurse there. And then my dad was able to come over, but she's also like the older sister of 8 siblings. So I'm a daughter of immigrants, and I feel as if um, I'm a big Hamilton fan, so don't mind me
Oh
if
my
I.
God, I'm a huge Hamilton fan.
Do you know what's coming out on Disney Live July 1st?
Wait. Hold on. It's the show? What's going on? The show.
Yeah,
The show.
the
Yeah.
recording of Hamilton coming on Disney Plus July 1st.
You've seen it live, right?
I've seen it twice.
Okay,
Twice.
cool. Um,
But to
yeah.
quote Hamilton, immigrants, we
Yeah.
get the job done.
Yeah.
And kind of that sense of like they're going after a dream because the United States, even though I have my own opinions about it currently, is just such a place for dreamers to come and do hard things and be able to accomplish them. And I saw my mom do that by knowing about what kind of lifestyle she wanted to provide to her family. And I see how fortunate I am to have been born here and now to achieve my dreams of building a business and a life that I get to live. Like, it's incredible. But I do um, have women like my mom
Yeah.
for that.
How do you train your mindset? Like, do you use a business coach or do you see therapists? Where do you get your great mindset?
A lot of things. I would say one big thing is actually my faith. I am a follower of Christ, and I feel like He is someone who has shown me that He takes broken things and makes them good. And so that's a huge part of my life. Another thing is, girl, I've been in therapy for like 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I just didn't realize how much like my inner critic could play such a huge part of my life. And so it's taken me years to learn how to recognize her and be like, you might be with me for a while, but I need you in the back seat of my life. You don't need to be driving this car. So I
The
feel
inner
like,
critic.
yeah, but I will move forward with what truth is. And so
Yeah.
therapy and counseling has helped me a lot with that.
Oh, I love that. I love what you're saying, that you've been able to separate out inner critic and help that woman to take a back seat
Mm-hmm.
to your dreamer self.
Mm-hmm.
When did that mostly happen? Like, was that many years ago? Is that a recent evolution for you?
For me, it's been so I've struggled on and off with disordered eating. I
Yeah.
started when I was in my teens, like around 15. Again, so hard being a woman in this society,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I just found so much of my worth in how I looked. And what pushed me was this like inner critic. And I just didn't realize how dangerous that could be. And so I thought I had left that behind in my teens, but it came out in my early 20s and a lot of times in stress because with disordered eating, a lot of it is this illusion of control. Like when everything else is out of control, this is the one thing I can control. And I just have to take that lie and break it down and remind myself my identity is not in how I look. It's also not in what I do, because as much as I love my business, I've been reminded again at this time where I haven't been able to do the big bulk of my business of working with people, that my value isn't even of that, even though I love that I can make one of my portrait subjects feel comfortable and feel like themselves. Who I am and my value hasn't changed in the last 3 months, even though I haven't been able to do that. And so it's all kind of breaking down those, what they call kind of weird tricks of the mind to tell us things that aren't true. And then I have to take a very intentional approach then to tell myself what is true. And that's where my value truly lies. And it doesn't lie in how I look.
Yeah.
Or
And then, so once we get rid of those kind of messes and stories, what do you end up finding your value lies in?
For me, my value lies in kind of like the soul in who I am too. And again, that's like a big part of my own faith story is just remembering like I am created in the image of God and God makes bad things good. And so I can express that by how I can love people around me. So that's also why, whether it's with my business, really serving these go-getter women, or whether it's, I'm really passionate about a lot of like the foster care system is a really big thing on my heart, and of just children who have been neglected and haven't been told the truth of how valuable they are. And so even in this time, like how can I use my resources to care for those who have been neglected or who just haven't been told how valuable they are. And so I know I can find a lot of my value in how I can kind of express the value given to me and to others as well. And so that's the community and a piece of this world that I have a big heart for.
Yeah, I know you also started Ethical Weddings, which your goal there is to popularize weddings that have a social impact, a net positive social impact. So how did that begin?
Ethical Weddings is a passion project of mine that has evolved into this bigger movement, which still excites me. It's so I've done a lot of photojournalistic travels, and a couple of years ago, maybe now it's 3 years ago, I was traveling in Guatemala and telling the story of a chocolate farmer, which I mean, chocolate, let's be real. What a crowd pleaser chocolate is. Who doesn't like chocolate? But a lot of us just don't know where it came from. So I was able to tell his story and how buying fair trade really impacts farmers like him and how he's just working so hard so that his son can have an education and go to college. I was so jazzed about telling that story, and I flew back to San Francisco and I was trying to get ready to photograph a wedding that I was booked for that weekend. And I felt so disheartened, Marguerite, because I mean, what it costs to send Petro's son to college in Guatemala is just a small fraction of what we spend in the United States on an 8-hour event, right? Weddings will look a little different now in our COVID-19 world, but an average wedding in the United States is about $38,000. And it's like a 6 to 8 hour event. And so that disparity really troubled me. And so I was really uninspired. Like I didn't really want to photograph that wedding. Then I thought about it. I'm like, wait, if a bride just made small decisions, like if she was going to gift her guests with chocolate, she should just choose fair trade chocolate. Or if she was going to get her bridesmaids a gift, and there were these wonderful robes, why not make it like fair trade or ethical fashion robes? Or if she was going to get catering, she should ask her caterer, is this local and organic, to really reinvest in her local community. And so I was like, wait, there are so many ways actually that the wedding can have positive social and environmental impact. It's that people don't know. And so Ethical Weddings serves as a platform to inspire those couples to do good. And one of our big things, it's called the 5 question series. And so it's like 5 questions to ask your jeweler, 5 questions to ask your rental company, 5 questions to ask your clothing company, so that you can be really thorough about like celebrating in a conscious way. So that has been a really fun project to lead and to see people realize, wait, my wedding, the thing that's going to bring me a lot of joy, can have positive repercussions. Like their face lights up. So it's a very transformative experience.
Amazing. I love that you are weaving in social justice into your work. It's so important and it's so valuable. And it just puts my heart at ease that you're doing that.
Mm.
What are your habits? Like, what are the things you do for sure every day that help you stay well and happy and vibrant?
Mm. I will answer this, but I also want to hear about you because you are a lifestyle expert too. So, some of the things I do every day, I do incorporate movement every day. As with many of us, a lot of our time is spent in front of screens.
Yeah.
So if I'm not moving, like my body just needs to wake up. And I also, to tie in with the disordered eating stuff,
Yeah.
sometimes struggle. And I've before overworked out, like doing 2 HIIT classes a day, and it was just too much on my body.
Yeah.
So I've been able to mature enough to realize, wait, my body is so smart. I just need to ask it what it wants to do today.
Right.
Is it dancing 30 minutes to 90s R&B? Because that is my jam. That's what
That is your jam. That's what I watch you do.
Either that, or sometimes it's a yoga class, or I'm going on walks around our beautiful city with my mask on. So that's a big routine of mine. Making sure I eat a lot of whole foods is big. I've been incorporating a lot more meditation and prayer into my life just to quiet this crazy that goes on in my head, all the
Yeah.
wild stuff. So those are some of my tenets: eating well, moving well, and mentally just giving myself that space.
I love that you shared like your view of God as someone who makes bad things good. Do you
Mm.
have that experience in your life? Like if you show up to a dinner conversation and like everybody's kind of low energy and like not feeling well, are you like internally like this is a bad situation which I'm going to turn good?
Sort of. Oh my gosh, doesn't that happen to everybody though? You can feel it in the room when it feels awkward.
Yeah.
One of the complicating feelings, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, when it comes to parties like that, I have my, backlog of dad jokes that I can crack if I need to like bring some humor to a situation. I don't think I'm actively always thinking, oh, this bad thing can be made good, but I feel like it's in my nature to just change things. So much so that I realize when I'm on the phone with the people and it's like another business, I don't want to give like unasked for advice, but I'm often giving it. Like I was on the phone with my accountant the other day. They're helping me with filing my taxes and stuff this year. And I was like, by the way, would you like to help up your client experience? Here are a few ideas I think you could implement. Because I just want to give you real feedback because I'm rooting for you and I feel like this will be made better. And I
Yes.
feel like that part of me is the God in me wanting to make bad things good or even make good things better, right? It's just
So,
wanting to be more efficient, more beautiful, more appealing.
so praise are for those of us on this call and who might watch this later, are we able to reach out to you for feedback?
Yeah, yes. And I think it's so important too. And please feel free to give me feedback too. People have been so good to tell me, like, oh, there's a broken link on your website, or hey, this email automation thing in your business isn't there too. But if you need me to test, I love doing that, especially for like solopreneurs too, who are building so many things.
Yeah.
Getting feedback um, from someone you trust is a really good thing. So happy for people to reach out to me to do that too.
So I browsed through your headshots, and it, I browsed to see which ones popped out to me because I
Mm.
feel like this is an opportunity to get to know you, but you're also like a journalist in the true sense of the word as a photojournalist, but also in that you just go and meet people and then the creative result is a photo or a set of photos. So I wanted to ask you about a couple of the people that jumped out to me that seemed like especially captivating based on the photos you took. and then hear a little bit about them and how
Yeah.
the photo shoot went. Is that okay?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
please.
So Pilar and Anders,
Andress, yes, with the
I
beautiful.
loved her photo. It was so like, how would you describe that photo that's on your website of Pilar?
Oh, great. You know, Emily works with Pilar, and I think she might still be on here too. So this is a fun shout out.
Yeah.
Pilar was great. So she came to our assembly back to school event too. It was last summer. And Pilar has this like also confidence about her, a presence about her too. But she also has, I remember, I know exactly the photo that you're thinking of, just like a wonderful smile. And to define what smize is, Marguerite, you are queen of it. You know your angles, but it's smiling with just your eyes, so like no teeth. It's being able to kind of convey a feeling with just the windows to the soul, which is your eyes. And hers were great too. She knew herself really well. She was confident enough to even know like, hey, can we try this? Can we try this background too? I will say, and to be really honest,
Mm-hmm.
I edited her photos the first time around, and she gave me feedback. She was like, I look washed out. It's
Mm.
like, noted. And so I remember readjusting her photos for her too. And that's often working with anybody. You kind of have a give and take, even though they're trusting me a lot with my eye.
Yeah.
I really love their picture. If I made their skin to underexpose or to overexpose, I want to hear that because if they don't feel like that's an accurate view of themselves, I want to know. And I happily, in my photo shoots, do a satisfaction guarantee. I want them to love their pictures and to be really proud of them.
Yes. By the way,
Yeah.
I ended up using Typeform after, because you use Typeform, right?
Surveys.
I love it.
Isn't it a great UX UI? Just like
Yes.
easy.
It's so classy. It's just like, don't ever use SurveyMonkey. Use Typeform. It's lovely. What does Pilar do for work?
So she changed jobs actually recently. I know she was working for a couple organizations. I want to say now she works for like a more female forward organization. She was working as an EA for Emily's company for a bit, and then she switched over. Really skilled woman, and I think she might have a few side hustles too, and starting her own business.
Cool.
Oh,
The next person I found very captivating based on your photo was Laura Horton.
Laura, you
So
okay?
tell us about her. She seemed like
She's wonderful. The way that you so graciously described me of having a magic about me, same with Laura as well. She walks into a room and you're like, "Can I tell you all my secrets? Like I trust you somehow." She's incredible. We had a fun personal branding session with her. She was planning to either pivot or to move positions within her company, so she wanted new photos. And so we did some like pretty formal headshots, like a lot of collared shirts, clean background. But where she really lit up is when I took her to one of my favorite alleys, Maiden Lane in Union Square. I'm telling all my secrets. Has a really wonderful, like, kind of straight line down and with.
oh yeah, where that great store is, all the women brands.
Re-
Yes, I love Restore. And there's also like really fancy shops, and then they have the Christmas lights and all of that.
yes.
In Lane, Union Square. Thing. Okay, so you can take good photos there. All right.
Yeah. And that's where Laura really lit up too, because we were able to have more fun, spin around, dance around a bit. And she has this one photograph of her with her leather jacket over her shoulder and she's peering back at you. I'm getting goosebumps still.
That's the shot. Yeah, she just seems like somebody, you really captured something about her in the picture. I also loved Emily and Gillen, and then in parentheses you said Cherry.
Yes. Oh.
What's the system?
Yeah, they're powerhouses. I guess that's the right way to say. They are powerhouses. So Emily had worked for another company before, and her sister, Jillian, they decided to start a company together called Cherry. And what Cherry does is it gives startups the ability to give their employees perks that they actually want.
Oh,
And so as much as we love kind bars for days at our tech companies, right?
yeah.
What would be actually cooler is to give them the perk through HR of having like their Spotify paid for or having their Netflix paid for. So these things that many people already do to have it as part of the HR package is what Cherry does.
Got it.
And so they are part of the incubator that everyone has gone through, like Airbnb has gone through.
Y Combinator?
Yeah, they were in Y Combinator.
Cool.
And I love seeing, because female founded companies are still in the minority. And so seeing two sisters, two powerhouse sisters come together and start that company, big fan. So people should check them out too. I think they're startcherry.com or .co.
And then I'll give you the last one that stuck out to me. And then I want to ask you if there's any common theme of these. Caitlin Hannon was the last one that really stuck out to me.
Caitlin is a social media guru too, and a photographer herself. So everyone should check out her stuff too. She does great product photography as well. I worked with her a lot on our Lululemon shoots. She was my first connect there. Caitlin, one of my favorites, as someone who worked at Disney and as someone who I feel like life should be a musical, she lives that out. I just wanted to be around her because when I first met her, she'd be like, "Parades, welcome, can't wait to go shoot with you."
Yeah. That's so assembly.
Yes, yes. She is incredible that way. And she'll kind of just sing through life. Even though like life isn't always fun, she will still sing through it. And that kind of lightness to her really just made me want to be around her. So I converted her from being my professional friend to my everyday life friend.
Yeah.
She has since moved to Santa Cruz, but her and her crew came up here the other day and they all crashed at my apartment. It was like this big sleepover and it was
So good to hear. Nice. And then I love your blog. So I wanted to ask you about a couple of your posts that caught my eyes. Like the one you have on like converting followers into customers looked so inviting. Like can you give us like a little idea into that? Like where some of the thoughts behind that article?
Yeah, definitely. Well, when it comes to my blog, I really wanted to create content that would serve my go-getter women. And a lot of them are starting their own businesses. A lot of them have a great social media following because they're serving content, much like you, Marguerite, that people want. But now how do you turn them to purchase your product or your services? The great thing about building blog content is that I'm not always the expert, but I have a great community of people who are. So my friend Allison, who is a marketing and sales funnel guru, came on and we used a matcha latte recipe, a 3-part recipe to be analogous of the secret recipe to turn them into clients. And a lot of it is really knowing your audience well and tailoring a freebie that'll really speak to them. So she went, and speaking of critique, she critiqued my freebie on my website, which at the time was 5 ways anyone can be a better photographer. And she said, praise, if your target audience is actually entrepreneurial women, you can even tailor that anymore. So you can say 5 ways any entrepreneur can be a better photographer too. And so it's kind of the same ethos of my business, where in a minute or two, I want you to feel comfortable enough to be like, wow, she gets me. You need to be able to tell your followers, like, I get you. I know your pain points and I'm here to solve them with you. Or I'm going to give you the tools to solve them yourself. And so that's kind of the heart behind the blog, is really forcing women with those kind of tools.
I love your tip about coming up, or Allison's tip. Is that her name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Allison.
Of know your audience and create a freebie that they really would want and find value in. Did she give you other examples that she thinks are good examples of that?
Yeah, and it was also, so it's like tailoring your freebie, but also like building your email list, and in your emails, instead of it just being like, oh, hey, here's a newsletter all about me. It's again addressing your clients' pain points, showing to get you. And doing that a number of times and then being able to kind of push your product or service to say like, hey, I have a solution for that. Here it is.
Yeah.
And so not pushy or salesy because you're truly helping people with what they're.
I also liked your blog post that was be a go-getter in a holistic way. So I wanted to give you a chance to highlight that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know this well because you are a lifestyle person just trying to figure out how to thrive in this life.
Yeah.
I have burnt out from work a number of times because I am so passionate often about what I do that I forget basic things like sleep or rest
Yeah.
as well. And so I often have to step back and ask myself, I can keep going this way, sure. Like I can work nonstop, but how long do I want to have this career? Do I want to have it for the rest of my professional life? That I'm going to have to make this not a sprint, but a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have to take breaks and learn how to sleep better. And so I think it was 2018. I really invested in my sleep. And so, girl, my nighttime routine is on lock. I have like my diffuser, my lavender. I was really picky about what mattresses I have and finding organic bed sheets, organic linens too. I try not to look at my screen after sunset. So during the wintertime, that was really hard because the sun would set at like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and just trying to calm myself down because yeah, I am a classic workaholic and will work nonstop otherwise. But if I really want to change the world through my business and what I do, I can't check out like that all the time. So I needed to do it in a holistic way.
Do you remember which diffuser you bought and which bed sheets you ended up being happy with to recommend to people?
Yeah, I used a sage diffuser
Mm-hmm.
and so there's a few linens that I use. Um, the Instagram highly targeted one, Parachute, does work well. That's what's on right now. But I've also used a Buffy, which is like a eucalyptus.
Yeah, I have the cloud comforter.
Yeah, do you like yours?
I do. I do. I feel like it's expensive for what it is.
Okay,
Do you
okay.
love it? Is that your comforter or you just have the sheets?
I have um I think I had the cloud comforter and then I also have the one that's like no sweat. So it's like a little thinner.
Yeah.
The cloud one was actually a little bit too hot for me, but I have their sheets too. And they're this, I can't describe the texture.
Yeah, they're very they're like lightweight but soft. They're smooth. I like them. I really like the texture. Yeah.
Totally, totally. Those, and then another one was under the canopy.
Okay, cool. How often do you change the sheets on your bed, just out of curiosity?
I mean, I try to do it every 3 to 4 weeks.
Every 3 to 4 weeks. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and I feel like even that's, I think people say you're supposed to do it every 2 weeks or something, but I don't have a washer and dryer. Hello, San Francisco.
Oh, that's hard. Yes, yes, yes. Good for you. And then your presets. I saw that you I clicked on your website. You're selling presets, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What's that like? So we
So presets, let me first define them because
yeah.
sometimes I feel like, oh wait, in my world, everyone knows what a preset is. But I realize not everybody
Yeah.
does. And so when you are editing a photo, you often will adjust a lot of the same things. You're like, oh, it was too dark. Let me adjust the exposure. Or maybe I was under this kind of yellowish light, so let me change the temperature of it and let me do this and this. And so it's like a series of steps that can actually be kind of time consuming. And so, what I've done, we take our professional edits that we do for our clients' photos. So basically, those 10 to 15 steps, package them up and made it mobile friendly so that you can basically like copy our presets and add them to your photos for that same color.
Hey.
Okay, okay.
Okay. That sounds so cool. Okay, I'm very interested. So it's like sort of like a filter. It's like a deep filter.
Yeah, it is. It's very similar to a filter, but it's more adjustable too.
Okay.
My presets, like our signature one, which is 85B Studio, which is the name of our studio here.
Yeah.
look with really yummy skin tones.
Hey.
Yeah, you're back. But yeah, if anyone wants to buy them, I'm happy to. We will put on our website we'll use the discount code Marguerite if
Ooh.
anyone wants the 85B studio for free. I'll do that right after.
Okay, that's amazing. I'll let people know. What will it allow them to have and for what?
So our sets is $30, but the 85B Studio, the signature one itself, is $10. But you'll get $10 off. So you can either get $10 off all the presets, or you can get that 85B Studio one for free.
And try it out. Okay, that's amazing. I will let people know.
Yeah.
What does the rest of your day look like? What are you heading off to do after this call?
I'm gonna make peanut butter mochi. Are you a mochi fan?
You make your own?
New obsession, the quarantine baking life. You know what I mean?
So
Girl,
fun.
they're like the size of the palm of your hand. And it's literally what it sounds like, a sticky outside with peanut butter in the middle. And so we're going to make like a peanut butter chocolate one, peanut butter jelly ones, and maybe peanut butter coconut.
You and your cousin.
Me and my cousin, but my friend is also here with me too. So we're going to make something.
Amazing. Have you used the recipe yet that you're about to use?
I have, yeah, I feel like it might have been on my stories, but maybe a while ago. I have like my first round of them. Like they were so dangerously good. I think I only ate one and I had to give the rest away because peanut butter is like my Achilles heel, girl.
Me too. Can
For
you
days.
share me the recipe?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I will give you the recipe. I'll add it to my story later on too.
Okay.
We'll put some shout outs in there for you.
Amazing. Okay, you are delightful. I so appreciate you, and I'm so glad you're in the world, and I'm glad that we're friends. And
Yeah.
I hope to see you after quarantine.
I hope to hug you. And
Yeah.
you don't live in Seattle now. You're just there.
My apartment's in San Francisco. Yeah, I'm just here visiting. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Well, I wait to connect when we get back. I meant to ask you, what are your routines to keep you stabilized throughout?
Oh my gosh. What do I do really, really regularly? I try to drink. This morning I didn't, and I really think we actually, my boyfriend and I went off to see these horses, and I hadn't hydrated enough before my coffee, and I think that kind of like that. So I really try to do like a good amount of hydration before coffee. I think it really makes a difference with energy.
Yeah, I hear
Yeah.
that.
So that's one of them. But I'll move around. I've been gardening. I'll go on little walks. I started a micro book movement class or micro book making class, which is cool. I started making candles. Just stay creative, I think, is my biggest thing. Just stay creative. And if you're not in the vibe to be creative, just take care of yourself and do self-care. And
Yeah.
gift
My
things.
God.
Yeah, I like gifting.
Mm. I wish mochi held better in the mail so that I could gift it to you. I don't feel like it will, but
No, the recipe would be amazing. Like the recipe would be such a gift. I would so appreciate it.
okay, I'm gonna
Okay.
DM you for sure.
Okay. Bye.
Enjoy.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.